Hello everyone, SpeeDMan here. Welcome to a brand new series, and we're going to be playing the Challenge of the Month. And so, the Age of Abundance is upon us. From now until December 12th, test your leadership skills in the first of our new series of in-game events by achieving a culture victory as the Greek politician and general Pericles. You start with 2 cities, 1,000 gold, close to viable resources and valuable resources, and on the exact same map as all of the other civilization players around the world. There are no barbarians to interfere with our plans, and the fate of our legacy is entirely in our hands. +5 culture per city state you're suzerain of, 1 wildcard slot in any government type. So, we have some interesting things to get straight into. We have many resources available to us, so the first thing we're going to do is immediately start working a very high value tile right there. We can set up a fantastic pasture to go here. That's going to give us some really nice yields. I can see many pastures available here, and what that's going to do is that's going to kind of push our decision making a little bit more towards potentially taking a pantheon that would benefit that. So I like that option a lot. I think an early culture could also be a good thing for us, so we may want to consider getting an immediate push for culture. So let's see here. Theocracy wouldn't benefit us. However, let's see. Going into humanism would be a good thing, just to get access to great harvest points right away. Let's take a look at our great peoples. So, Filippo Brunelleschi. This is a fantastic great engineer, so that could be a good option. And we also want to go ahead and try to make an effort towards getting a great prophet. We will do diplomatic league, so that way it counts as 2. We will do maybe something like this at some point. And then maybe that for the scouting units. We have ourselves a pretty nice amount of gold. We are immediately going to start by buying 2 settlers. And what I want to do is start considering some good settlement locations. We have a fantastic tile here. I also want to see what's around us. I don't know if there are going to be other civilizations or city-states nearby, other than, of course, Mogadishu, which is not unlocked right now. While we're at it, we can actually go ahead and purchase for a very cheap price a scout, and then bring that over so that way we can actually discover that and get certainty of that immediately. That's actually going to give us a permanent +5% buff to our culture, so it's going to be a good way for us to get that going. Let's take a look here. We have some nice +2s available here. I think right here, this is a pretty good tile right here. We can get started. We'll get that immediately going. And we also have some other things that we can build. So campuses may not be a bad decision, but again, this is for a culture victory. So that gives us some nice flexibility and options for us to make a push for. Acropolis right here. Just getting another +2 Acropolis is always going to be good. Because again, as we soon will be discovering that, we're going to be in a pretty good spot as we get set up here. We do have some very nice tiles available to us. So I want to go ahead and make my way over to the east, and then this will go down south. Couple decisions I'll have to make. That is an excellent tile right there. That is a 4-food tile, so I may go ahead and bring that down. And then that'll be a great spot for us to end the turn in just a moment. We're going to go immediately and make a push for one of 2 things. I think, personally, getting access to printing would be good, because if we can try to build Forbidden City a little earlier, getting yet another wildcard slot is going to actually be insanely useful for us. And the second thing we're going to go for is the Patala Palace. We want to try to get that diplomatic policy slot. Getting another one on top of that extra wildcard slot is going to actually hold some extreme benefits for us. So it's going to be a little bit till these trade routes are ready. So we are going to go ahead and take this one. That's going to shave a little time off of the growth for the city. Let's go into food growth. And also, let's see here, food growth is already plentiful, so we are okay there. If we were going to go into that, honestly, that's not much better. I will leave that as it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring that scout over. You are going to take that. That is an instantly amazing tile. So we're actually, while we're at it, just to make sure no matter what this stays on, that is going to get locked down to that position. That is excellent. That now gives us access to one singular horse resource, which is great. We also have the ability to potentially make some camps over here, which could actually be pretty good camps as well. So if we want to get some nice gold economy going, I think we can go ahead and do that. So let's get right into that. And then let's see here, we can now settle into this position. So we're going to get our third city up and running. And because of our third city having a nice bit of expansion, that's giving us access immediately to that niter tile, which we will fairly soon want to go ahead and get ourselves set up with a, let's see here, that doesn't have movement, so we will do a chop and then do a placement for a camp there, and that'll be pretty good. And the reason I want to go ahead and do that instead of going down here for this is this is already working some decent tiles, so this city will grow fairly decently. Let's go ahead and consider some positions though for a holy site. So while we're at it, let's see here, holy sites. Chopping that into a holy site that's +3 would be excellent. So next turn we can do that. Then we will build a camp. And that's in the long term going to get better. So not to worry. We have access to 2 beautiful tiles. And we're going to walk those tiles immediately. Those tiles are excellent. And we can get into the waters, so we're immediately going to do that. That's going to be extremely important for us. We need to see who is around us in this map. There could be a lot of potential threats here, and I want us to go ahead and try to get information about that earlier. While we're at it, we can go ahead and take the hill terrain. There are quite a few hills in the region, so let's do that. We are getting ever closer. We have met Rome. Pleasure to meet you. Did get some XP from that unit, so also not bad. We're going to take the Ranger promotion because it looks like we have quite a few hills, not hills, but forests here. So that is good. That is not a bad discovery. There's going to be another rival this game, so we do want to be careful, especially for culture. Getting all that gold right there is going to be excellent for us. They're on a completely different continent here, and that tells me I'm not going to be in a threatened situation. I don't need to worry about them with their militaries, so I can take advantage of that and immediately try to push things out, get a lot more gold going, and use that as a way to get more expansion. Like, I need to expand into this area. This would be an excellent satellite city. There's some other satellite cities we can also get going as well. That's 560 for a settler. So let's go ahead, and while we are at it, this city is going to need to work on a few things before that settler, so we can go ahead and bring that over. This could be a decent settlement location as well. Actually decent for science, because what we could do is we could do potentially a chop here, and then place an Acropolis. We can place a city center here. And then we can place a very nice harbor right there, and the +4 harbor would be excellent. So I like that a lot. Could even place an industrial zone right here. That way you get a little bit of power output to some of this area in the long term. That's much later in the game, but definitely isn't bad. Let's go ahead and get this city running though. Having an alliance wouldn't be bad. Let's see here. Ooh, we have met Kumasi. Interesting. Kumasi's right there. Eureka for gunpowder. Gunpowder, Eureka. That is right here. Build an armory. So we're probably not going to be building that. It would be a pretty high cost thing for us to try to focus on. So it's not really a big deal. I can live without that. However, getting this position built and moving along is definitely going to be very, very important. So we are going to want to go ahead and do that. A couple turns away from that. We are getting close to the first round of these. I am trying to also save up my faith, because then what I could do is potentially early faith buy this, and that's going to be our way of trying to get this set up here. So we are going to try to make an effort. I am going to go ahead and bring this over. Take a little while, that is fine. Increased trade route capacity, not too bad. That's because we got that set up. There we go. So we do have ourselves a nice harbor built now. So it's actually helping our gold income just a little bit. And what we could do is potentially afford to work on some other stuff as well. A few more gold per turn wouldn't hurt, especially because that is actually going to be benefited from Mogadishu. We also have some other options that we can get into. So I like where we are here. This is looking pretty good here. We are going to need to get started on that, so let's go ahead and immediately beeline this. And then any other city that we have in a good position, like after this, for example, we're going to focus on production. That is going to take a while for us, but it'll be a really good thing for us, so let's get right into that. There we go. So that holy site is up and running now. We are much closer now than the other AI. No one's purchased it yet. That's good. We'll do this. There we go. And we are going to start things off with a good +3 harbor. That's an excellent harbor for us to get moving along with. It's just going to get our tempo kind of started here and give us a nice kind of starting point. Let's see here. Leave that on. Let's see. Actually, I can take that off for the time being. Put that on. And then Great Rider points. Take that off. And put this on for now. Try to continue to develop my infrastructure. Everything else is looking pretty good so far. We're at a very dominant position for this one, so that's why I'm taking a little tempo away from it. I'm not too worried about getting this right away. There are other sources of culture that we're going to be getting that are more important at the moment. I think I found an optical glitch. I don't think the crab resource is supposed to be there. That's new. Well, actually, technically old, because this is like well before. This is very, very pre-Gathering Storm. This is like basically close to base game. Which is why the game looks so different. We've met Saladin. I don't know, where is he coming from? He has a scout that came across. Okay. Okay, we got ourselves our religion. That is massive. So let's see here. We'll just start with a Buddhism one. Shrines and temples provide culture equal to their intrinsic faith output. That's goated right there. That's top tier for what we need. And then Royal Church is not bad if we just want to go raw culture output. Holy Site or Theater Square providing faith and culture, also not bad. Although this is a bit better in the long-term scaling. So basically you can get one culture, one faith per city if you build up for it. Whereas this, if you develop a lot of cities with a lot of population, this will scale a lot more. I think Royal Church is a very good one, and that's going to play directly into what our needs are. Again, just pure focus on culture output. There we go. First to found a religion, so that gives us a massive, massive advantage. Yeah, we are significantly ahead of the AI in culture output, and we're not terribly far behind on science, although Vemba Nzinga is 57 science per turn, so he's moving along. But that's to be expected if you're building quite a few campuses, so not really too threatening. It's a +1, but not really good enough. That'll be a +3. That'll be what we want. Let's see here. Honestly, an industrial zone wouldn't hurt right about now. It would just give us a natural source of great engineer points. And we have met Catherine. Okay. That is an interesting one. Arabia has found a new religion, Islam. Okay. Ah, there were only 2 available this game. And we just got the first one just in time. That could not be much closer. There we go. We'll get to spread our religion a little bit as well amongst our cities, which helps develop our pressure. As we can see here, the conversions are happening. There is conversion potential, so we do want to go ahead and make sure we get ours spread through trade routes, and then we spread amongst these lands as soon as we can. Civil engineering is now complete, so we're in a pretty good spot. We are leading the way with a lot of stuff. Let's go into, let's see here, we could probably do nationalism for a little while. Get that started.
Remember that politics, colonialism,
there's colonialism.
Imperialism,
it's going to give us a couple more envoys. It's also going to give us access to Raj, which is going to be pretty good. So we have 3 different city-state suzerainties here. And let's take a look and we'll show why this is a really good one. So before we do that, let's go ahead and just check around here. Do have some fishing boats around here that we need to get started on, but first let's do the chop there. We'll do chop there. It's going to bring us to 7 population. We're going to do another chop and then set up that campus, and that campus should help us be a lot more competitive with the AI, generally speaking. We're going to do a chop here, and then we are going to immediately get started on a Forbidden City build. That's going to be a big priority for us. Of course, I'm going to ignore that, and we met Vilnius. That is why I did not want to remove the Diplomatic League card. 3, 4, suzerain, and we met Peter. Interesting.
Здравствуй.
Right away, let's get that built. Just so we have a nice ambient bonus. And we also met... Oh, we met Pedro. Okay.
What can be labeled, packaged, mass.
And sources, that's good. Let's go directly into this. Pretty decent chance of success, so this should be okay. I am going to go ahead and just plug my religion pretty heavily into this area, though. That way we get a lot of religious control here. I'm going to leave this open because we need that. We're going to need that in the long term. And then let's go into, let's see here, chops over here wouldn't be too bad. Let's just keep pumping up pressure, though. We can keep his stuff suppressed. It'll be hard for him to keep his religion going. If we actually end up eventually converting his religion into nothingness, then eventually we can actually we can hasten the process of going for culture victory significantly. So that's not too bad. Let's see, that honestly would be best chopped. Just for outright production. That completes that. Good. We need to go for the Acropolis immediately after, though. That's the next priority for us. Oh, and we have met Egypt as well. $31 gold per turn. You are out of your mind. Those are nice tiles right there. We do have a couple more available to us, so I don't really need to use them right away. I am going to try to save for a couple more envoys, because then I can get Kumasi or maybe even another city-state suzerainty if I can. That would be a good way for us to get even more potential benefits and yields over time. So it's a bit of a tricky decision, but otherwise we are looking very good. 7 turns away from conservation. Let's go into that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are making some excellent progress here. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. SpeeDMan out.